There's a fish, largemouth. Yeah, chunk rock fish. Come here, baby doll. I say a largemouth, could be a Kentucky here on Tenkiller. I'm fishing Lake Tenkiller, lake that I moved down to when I was like 16 years old. I moved down there between my junior and senior year in high school. This is one of my favorite banks. I'm way up the river. It's early March. It's pretty cool out here this morning, but this water temperature was 57 when I put in, or 56. Nice fish. Very nice fish. Got a 13 to 16 inch slot here on this lake. Look there how he's just barely hooked on that American Original Deep Smoothie. One treble's got him. One treble, barely got him. Of course, if he'd been in a tournament, he probably would have. Okay. And I've got no barbs on that bait as well. That's a nice, good fish right there, pushing 4 pounds. Really good fish. We're gonna go up in this river. We might run into some white bass today, I don't know. But the fish are just moving up. That fish right there could have yesterday been out 12, 15 foot deep. My locator, I'm 15 foot right under the boat. Now you see how close I am to the bank. So you can look up at that bank and see that that really is steep right here. But these chunk rock banks is what I like to concentrate on. I don't know how many times. You could look at this bank, it's like probably 500 yards long. You can look at it, and there's many tournaments I've won by starting on that end, going all the way down to, it comes into a little cove down there that I spinnerbait in. Turn around, go right back where I just fished, and catch 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 8 one way and 8 or 10 the next way. Now, this morning, you see all of that way back behind you? Can you see that far? I fished all of that, did not get a bite. That's the first bite of the day. But the afternoon should be better than morning, typical here in early March. We've got a pretty nice day out here. It's supposed to get close to, if not, 70 degrees today. A lot will depend on whether that sun comes out or not. There's one. That's going to be a largemouth there, I believe. Yep, nice largemouth. A nice one. If I keep him buttoned up. That's another, plenty long enough on our 13 to 16 slot. Definitely over the 16 inches. He's got a lot of hooks in his mouth. And we might catch him a little bit better in the afternoon. We're clearing to the afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock. 2 o'clock, looks like. And he's got lots of hooks in him. Yes, he does. He says, well, get them out of me, Jimmy. I know you're not going to fillet me. You're exactly right. A little chunk rock, that's what you're looking like, that chunk rock there, point. That's what you're looking for to catch it. That's a male right there. It's not a female like that last bass was. That's a male, but it's a dandy. It's a dandy. The fish are not biting very good, probably because of that north wind. You see the chunk rock up on the bank? That's what I'm keying on. And that's what I key on this time of the year. We need a little bit more water temperature. We got right here is 57.3. Now it's different in different places. You know, I've got up there in the river it was over 60 degrees where we caught that one really nice fish, but we didn't catch any more. This is not quite warm enough. We'd like for it to get up to 58, 59. It's 57.70 right here where I caught that fish. So that's worth noting. You always want to watch your water temperature, particularly this time of the year, because it's really critical in being able to catch fish. Up shallow, you know, you can move out, find them out suspended, roaming around, just simply moving, looking around a lot with a live scope. Find fish doing that right now, but just fishing, you need to really, really try to find the right water temperature. There's a fish. Might be a white bass, I don't know. No, it's a little largemouth. It's a little largemouth. He's way out here. I was throwing dead in front of the boat because the boat's only in 7 foot of water. Yeah, it's a little small male. I moved down. I tell you what I did. I fished quite a bit with that larger smoothie, the bigger size. I moved down to the smaller size smoothie, and same color, black and chartreuse, and that seemed to have made a difference. This one, by the way, it's got barbs on it. I took this one out of the package. I haven't smashed the barbs down because it's a pretty tough bite. And being a tough bite, I'll add another little male. And that one wasn't anywhere near close to the bank. I'm just throwing right straight out in front of the boat. It's only 8 foot deep right here. That boat bait's running down about 6. I kind of thought I might catch a white bass out here is what I thought I might do. He was halfway out the boat, so it probably is a white bass. Ooh, look at that big old white bass. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna get my little crappie magic, little Lucky Strike crappie magic out. And, oh, don't you get that hook in your hand, Jimmy? Get my little crappie magic out and fish it here. See if we can't catch a few of these between now and dark. It's a lot of fun on that casting rod, but it'd be more fun on a little spinning rod. And unhook them a little better too, maybe. Which I don't know, they get that little crappie jig down pretty deep sometime. That's a big old nice white bass. I know you probably can't even see him because of that sun, but trust me, big old nice white bass. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe we can catch a few of them between now and dark. That'll be fun, wouldn't it? At least I would enjoy it a lot. There's one. Finally found, that might be a crappie. No, it's a white bass. Finally found a white bass. Not a real big one. Finally found a white bass, not bad. On my spinning rod, yeah. Boy, he scarfed that thing. Good lands. Oh, he didn't need it too bad. I thought it was out of sight there for a minute. He's down pretty deep, though. Got that thing down in there pretty doggone deep. God, he could have stayed hooked forever, for 100 years. I'm not sure I'll get him unhooked. Check into that. Golly. Golly. Probably gonna run my jig to get him off. No, maybe not. That's an eater-sized white bass. Those people are trolling for out there. I'm starting to see a few more on my live scope all the time. There's lots and lots of bait in here. I lost my little swimming minnow off there. My lucky minnow is gone. My lucky minnow's gone. Where did it go? Well, I just happen to have a couple more. Oh, Jimmy, get off that rod tip. I just happen to have. I've been throwing a white, put a chartreuse on, caught a fish on it. I don't know if that means anything or not, but I like it. All right, lucky minnow. This is a sickle tail here. Go find me another one. Go find me another one. There's more and more shad showing up all the time. They're all out about 15 feet. The shad are 15 feet. We about used up the day. A little bit bigger than I thought. They know how to pull. Oh yeah, nice white bass. Nice white bass. Got to be really careful those treble hooks of these white bass because they will snatch you. Caught him perfect. One treble hook, perfect. That's a really good filleting size white bass right there. All these people have been out here, we've been seeing trolling. That's exactly what they're trolling for. That's one thing about dragging a crankbait. You can't wind it too fast because those people out here trolling are winding that thing way faster or moving that bait way faster than what I crank it. And I'm not cranking it very fast. I maybe ought to speed it up. That might be the deal. Missed him first time, then he come back and got it. Come here, white bass. That's not as big as the other one. Those are all eating size white bass, though, no doubt about that. Plenty big enough to eat. He's hooked underneath. I missed it, one or two on that cast before I caught that one. Yeah, plenty big enough to eat. Some of these are just bulging with eggs. They're so fat. I mean, they got eggs all. They'd probably go up in that creek right there and spawn. Now, they may go on up the river. This is the white bass run starts, and they work their way up this river. And the creek goes right that way, another creek goes that way, and then the river goes that way. And the fish will actually go spawn in the ends of these creeks too. But the majority of them are going to go with the current and get up that river to spawn. There's a world of fish right now. Earlier there was no fish at all in here. And a few shad started showing up. If this wind would quit blowing, which it's not going to obviously, because it's almost dark and it's still blowing. If this wind would quit blowing, these fish would start popping shad up on top of the water. They'd run these shad to the top. Right now the shad are staying down about 15 feet, and these fish are having to come up to get my bait, which they're doing. But you can see all those fish down there. You see the shad, you can see all of those white bass, and they're just scurrying around in there eating those shad. I think you can catch them on that crankbait because it's covered more ground than that little crappie magic crappie bait. It's probably white bass, I think. That bait didn't get very deep, so that one was up close to the surface. Oh, that guy's mad. I'd be foul hooked. Big old white bass. Big old nice white bass. Oh, look at the belly on that booger. Look at that belly. I love to hook them with just one treble hook. They get hooked pretty good though in that skin. Look at the belly on that girl, will you? That's a big old white bass right there. Now that is a dandy. They're popping a little bit right here before dark. They're starting to come up and pop the top of the water. That one hit that crankbait really, really quickly. I didn't crank but about 4 or 5 cranks, so it hit it up close to the surface. I can hear a few of them popping around. You can't hardly see them, but you hear them popping, you look, and the ripples are all gone because of the wind. Wind's still blowing, and by golly, it's getting cold out here too. They're gonna get around the surface. I'm trying to fish this a little bit faster. Up there he is. I knew I was gonna catch one on that throw. There was quite a few of them back there. Oh, look at them out there breaking too. These are good ones too. They're just now starting right here before dark. I don't know how many I've caught. I've caught several. These are nice white bass too. I mean, they're nice white bass. They'd really be a lot more fun on that spinning rod. They're pretty much fun on this casting rod, but look at that one. Look at the size of that white bass. That's getting up there close to 2 pounds. Well, they're getting hung on the end hook, which I like. You don't want these white bass to take that crankbait and get the whole crankbait in their mouth. It's hard to get those trebles out, but that's a big old white bass. Making babies, making babies. They're splashing all around the boat now. They're finally come up and surfaced right here before dark. If they'd been calm, they'd done this a couple hours ago probably. Pretty exciting when you see them breaking around and know you got fish around you. I can hear them breaking back there behind me now. Come here, guy. That little spot back there behind the boat's been kind of a hot dog deal because my boat's sitting in the same spot all the time now. I had to move it. I just set the spot lock and let it go. You get these guys up beside the boat, they get kind of mad. Oh, that's another big one too. Oh, golly, that's good. Good size white bass. One thing you got to really be careful of is when you land them, kind of like what I'm landing them there and grabbing, holding them down there. If that bait was to pop loose and that bait couldn't pop up into your hand, it's probably going to stick below the barb. You're probably going to need a fishing line trick to get that thing loose. Because if that fish falls off and that bait pops back up, it's probably not going to be good. That's another big old giant white bass right there. Those white bass are a lot better off if they bit my bait than those people that's been trolling around out here. Well, it's about to get dark on us out here. We've got a little red sky at night, sailor's delight. That means the wind's going to lay. The wind kind of hurt us today, and it's from the north. But we had a great day here on Lake Tenkiller. Only caught really 4 or 5 largemouth bass, and the very first one we caught this morning, I say this morning, it was about 10 o'clock probably, or 11. Was the largest one we caught, about 4 pounds. We caught a couple, 2 or 3 other nice ones, and we caught quite a few sandbass right here before dark. Now, I say sandbass, you know, I've been calling them white bass all day, but we call them sandbass or white bass here in Oklahoma. There's quite a few of them here right now. That one come off. And I'm catching them on just throwing that deep smoothie around out here. I've thrown a crappie magic and caught 1 or 2 on it, but I can just cover so much more water and they're scattered out. Water temperature, that's the key thing this time of the year. Now the water right now has dropped down to 58 or 59 degrees. It was up to 61 in places today. And that's a critical deal. As the sun has got down below the mountain over there and this wind keeps blowing, this water is already cooling off. It's already cooled off 2 or 3 degrees. But you find water that's 58, 57, 58, 59 degrees. That's kind of the magic water temp you want to look for. And keep your eye on that temperature gauge on your graph or your fish finder. Keep your eye on that all day long. Always be watching that. When you see that you're getting an area where the water's dropping, and sometimes you can pull around a little pocket, water's gonna rise or the water's gonna go down. Got that one. Water's gonna rise or the water's gonna go down. Water temperature's gonna rise or the water temperature's gonna go down. And when that happens, that's gonna affect your fishing. If you get in an area where you find that the water temperature's got up a degree or 2, and maybe it's got up there 58, 59, 60, 61 degrees, you wanna spend quite a bit of time. Ooh, that one's mad too. That was mad too. Another big old white bass. Golly, look at that. Oh, the big old females we're catching right now. They're getting ready to spawn. Heading up these rivers, getting ready to spawn. I'm catching them on this is a small size smoothie that I'm fishing with. Ah, Debbie, don't put that in your finger. Get one out of the fish and put one in your finger. You got to be careful in doing that. Those are big, beautiful white bass. You catch you 15 or 20 of those. I've caught quite a few this season. You catch you 15 or 20 of those, you're going to have a big bunch of fillets. Guys and girls, have a great one out there. Remember, I sure do love you.